Welcome, everyone, to another exciting installment of Dad and Daughter Formula One Duel. But before we begin, is there something that you would like to say, daughter?
I would like to say happy birthday to Carlos Sainz.
It was Carlos Sainz's birthday yesterday, and today it's actually somebody else's birthday.
It's mine.
It is your birthday, so happy birthday. So I guess it's a Dutch Grand Prix recap / birthday edition?
Yeah.
Maybe something like that? Okay. So this past weekend was the Dutch Grand Prix. It was actually a relatively exciting race because at the end of the day, it really wasn't supposed to be very much overtakes. It really wasn't supposed to be that much action. And then it turned out that there was tons of action. It was a lot of things going on. So, number one, you want to give us a really quick recap?
So in first place,
Mm-hmm.
it was Oscar Piastri.
Okay.
Second place was Max Verstappen.
Mm-hmm.
And third place was Isack
Hadjar, yeah.
Isack Hadjar.
From Visa RV, right?
That is amazing.
It was very surprising.
If Visa is able to just be better in general
Mm-hmm.
than Red Bull, as you can see, Visa is very low right now.
Mm-hmm. But they actually did move up one position, so we do need to make a change on that.
Oh wait,
Yeah, so we need to make a change on that, but we will. We'll make it after the video.
That's
so
really sad.
a couple things that we need to talk about. So number one, Lando's not in our conversation. Why isn't Lando in the conversation?
Because that fan, because he had a
NF.
DNF.
DNF. Do you know what DNF stands for?
Did not finish.
Did not finish. So he didn't finish. So he actually ends up having a mechanical failure about 4 laps before the end of the Grand Prix, which is just a disaster.
That is extremely sad.
It is. It was extremely sad because he did a pretty good race in terms of just kind of staying behind Oscar the whole time. Oscar would kind of get 3-4 second lead on him. Then Lando would come back. He would get, maybe within a second and a half, 1.9 seconds. And then it looked like if Lando was going to make a stronger push towards the end, and then all of a sudden he had this mechanical failure, this engine failure, which just totally ruined his entire race.
Oh.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, we still have a McLaren winning the race, right? Which is Oscar. Oscar now leads the Drivers' Championship by how many points? Do you know?
34.
34 points. Yep. So 34 points. So originally it was only 9-point difference. Now Oscar gets 25 points for getting first. Lando doesn't get any points for not finishing.
34 adds up to 34 points. Oscar's in first place. He will stay in first place.
Okay. Yeah. So let's start there. So
Okay.
This is our first segment of our video. Number one, will Lando? Well, yeah, we'll ask that. Will Lando be able to catch back up to Oscar?
No.
No. So your vote is no. I don't know. So, I mean, obviously, as a Lando fan, I'm going to say that Lando's always got a chance. Maybe now Lando doesn't really have anything to lose, right?
I mean, I think he does.
What does he have to lose?
I mean, like, maybe if he doesn't get first place,
Mm-hmm.
he's losing money. I mean.
Okay, true.
So, like, I think that's a lot of things to lose, something important to lose, because you need money to feed yourself and like to get whatever you need. So, like, I think that's a great thing to lose.
Yeah, so very, very necessity wise, right? That you're looking at that,
and also
mm-hmm.
he might lose a few sponsorships.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. Right now, McLaren is getting quite a bit more sponsorship. So now their title sponsor is MasterCard. So that's bringing in a lot of money, right? Because this whole, yeah. So McLaren being on a roll since last season, being the constructor champion this year, they're going to be constructor champion. They're going to have a driver's champion. So I think a lot of sponsors are coming in. But at the end of the day, Lando really doesn't have anything to lose in terms of the title, right? So, I mean, maybe he can push himself a little bit harder, right? If he's saying to himself, hey, I'm going to get maybe second place anyways. Why not try a little bit harder? Why not push just a little bit harder on my laps? Why not push myself a little bit harder during qualifying, take a little bit more risk? A lot of people are saying, a lot of analysts are saying,
I don't know what an analyst is.
that they analyze kind of everything,
Okay.
right? So they comment on things. So analysts are saying, well, Lando really can't deal with the pressures of.
Well, maybe he can. They don't know Lando. Like, how do they know Lando as much as maybe his family does, or as
True.
much as he does?
True.
Because even though family is family, people can still lock themselves from people knowing what, like, more about them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, the person who knows most about him is himself.
True.
So how could analysts know he can't do this?
True. And that's a very good point, right? So when they were interviewing Lando after the race, I think in other races, you could kind of see the frustration in him. He was kind of upset, visually upset about not doing well, or whatever may have happened. This race, though, he was eerily calm, and he was kind of like, all right, it is what it is. It wasn't a big deal. I mean, granted, it was out of his control. It wasn't something that he did. But I think that maybe he is going to try to push himself. I think he's now gotten to that point where he's going to say to himself, I'm resilient. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to go out there, and if I can win and become driver champion, great. And if not, oh well, but I tried. Right?
That is amazing.
Yeah.
But also, I think Oscar has a pretty great chance of just getting maybe even 50 points ahead.
Yeah.
If I know that it was not Lando's fault that he had this, but technical issue, but maybe there was something that he did before the race, which might have caused a technical issue. Because really, you can't. I mean, it's possible because I don't know how the car works. Like, I'm not an engineer. But technically, you have to do something, or something must have done, or something must have happened.
Yeah.
Where it did that. So maybe it was Lando himself who maybe he was like, nothing, this won't change anything, and I'll just move this around and like it won't change the car or anything. And maybe that might have caused it. I don't know, because personally, I did not go to the Dutch Grand Prix, so I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, and you make a very good point. So that is so that's part one. So now let's move to talking about the next big thing, Isack Hadjar. So Isack Hadjar gets his first podium in Formula One.
Oh, that's why it was like such a big deal.
It was a very, very big deal. And also remember, if you remember what happened to Isack in the very first race at the Australian Grand Prix, do you remember what happened?
Pretty sure he crashed, or he did not.
He crashed, and he actually did not start the race because he crashed during the formation lap. And he was really sad. Lewis Hamilton's dad went up to him and consoled him and talked to him a little bit. If that was a very famous picture and very famous video that happened. And now Isaac's on the podium, right? Isaac's on the podium. Isack is now being able to. So with Isack, now he, is on the podium. It's a little bit now weird for, if anybody, Yuki.
Yes, it really is, because Yuki's been getting 18th place, and maybe like if he's on a roll, 15.
Yeah, and I think Yuki might, he got a point during this race. He didn't do that well. He is really, really struggling.
But now who isn't struggling? I'm gonna cut you off right there. Is Isack?
That's right.
Now he's getting podiums.
Yeah.
But of course, it is the car.
Yeah.
Where they're fitting the car to Max's needs.
Okay, right. So you're still on that.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So, I mean, and we have to think about that. So Isack gets his first podium before Yuki gets his first podium ever. So
that's gonna be.
So that's a little bit of a tough one. Now, aside from that, Isack has more points now than Yuki does. And
should be terrible.
And Isack has more points than the second driver of Red Bull has in the last couple of races. So, or for a good long while. So it's really becoming a problem. Now, the other side of the coin of RB is we've got Liam Lawson.
Ooh.
Liam did not do that well. He finished in.
I'm going to say this once. Do not. I know that I've said that I don't like Liam very much, but I think now where there are drivers who I don't like very much anymore, I think Liam is now going to be topper, like more top, because there are drivers who have now leveled down.
Okay.
Like in an invisible.
So you
chart.
like him a little bit more.
Yes, and like in an invisible chart, he has moved up a little bit, and some drivers has moved down.
Okay, I can see that. So he's still struggling. He struggled in this race. He actually ended up having a crash with you know who?
No.
His birthday was yesterday.
Oh, how do I? Carlos Sainz.
With Carlos Sainz.
I'm like.
Yeah, so he has a crash with Carlos Sainz during the Dutch Grand Prix. It did not turn out well. Carlos actually ends up getting a penalty because of that, which we all need more explanations as to that. There was this whole big deal with this because there was no explanation from the stewards as to why he actually got the penalty. When Carlos wanted to go meet with them after the race, they did not want to talk to him, which has now created a big problem. But at the end of the day, Liam struggled during that race, and it didn't turn out very well. Now, again, Isack is doing pretty well. What is this going to mean for next season? Is this going to mean, do you think, that they're going to pull Yuki out of the second seat at Red Bull and bring in Isack? Or will they let Isack stay one more year, see how he performs when everyone's got equal cars because the regulations change next year? Or what do you think is going to happen?
Oh, I'm going to think that they're going to move Isack, but I also do not think that they're going to move Yuki back to Visa.
Okay, so you don't think they'll move Yuki back to Visa,
but they're going to move Isack.
But they'll move Isack. So where do you think Yuki will go?
I don't know, but I don't think RB is going to take them. To take him, if he was not performing well in a top team, then why would they take? In my brain, personally, I would not do that. I would be like, well, you didn't perform well with a top team, and well, now we lost, and now Isaac's going over there. We don't want you. We would rather get someone else.
Okay. So they do have Lindblad, who is in Formula 2 right now, who's kind of the up-and-coming star. And supposedly, from kind of what's been told, he's the one that they asked for permission to get the super license early as a 17-year-old. He drove in one of the FP1s a while back in one of the races. So it may look like they may promote him, move
Isack.
They'll move Isack over, and maybe they'll let Yuki kind of figure it out. Maybe go to a team that's going to be having a Honda engine, like Aston Martin or somebody else.
I don't. If they take one of those drivers out of Aston Martin, no, I would not be supporting of them anymore.
Yeah,
because those drivers are personally one of my top drivers.
You love Lance Stroll.
I love Ace. But I wouldn't care if they took out Lance Stroll.
Okay.
But I would care if they took out
Fernando. Yeah.
If they took Fernando Alonso out.
You want him to be like 90
mad.
years old and still driving.
Okay, so that might be true. But why do they still keep Lance Stroll?
I don't know. Well, and that's I think that's a whole nother video that we have to make. Okay. Now we got to talk about this last team because it was a disaster. I am wearing their shirt. Ferrari. So Ferrari had 2 DNFs. Lewis and Charles did not finish the race. What happened to Lewis?
I think he crashed, yeah?
He crashed. So he crashed all on his own, took a little bit of a bad line into that really steep curve that they've got, right? That's got a big harsh angle.
That's why in one of our last videos, I'm pretty sure, I talked about those curves where like those new drivers are doing amazing for all of those tracks, like the Dutch.
Yeah.
And that one's pretty intense.
Yeah.
it's like a thin road. It's not
Yeah.
not as thin as Monaco,
Yeah.
but it's also not as thick
As other ones, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's not as big as other ones. So it's like you kind of like there's no that much room
Yeah.
for you guys to fight, like for fighting.
True.
And there was steep hills, all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
It's really easy to crash on those. If I was a driver, I think the first second I would crash.
Yeah.
Because when I played the game,
Yeah.
the car gets ruined in like about 0.5 seconds.
True.
When I start the race. I just put my foot on the pedal.
Yep. Well, and that might have actually happened to Lewis, right? That he kind of took one of the curves a little bit
too fast.
Too fast, and he went in and crashed. The second one was Charles a little bit later in the race. Charles first made a very, very interesting move at the final chicane that is right before they go into the long straight at the track, leading towards turn one. And when he did that turn, or when he made that move on George Russell got very upset, as he always does with anybody, calls everybody out. But Charles gets that place. So Charles was riding
Sorry, I'm gonna have to say this.
Yeah.
It's because it keeps ringing in my mind to say anger issues much.
He's got anger issues, right? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think personally, if someone tried to cut me off during a race, I think I would do that as much.
Probably, right? You might have a little bit of anger issues. Well, Charles then makes a moves into fifth. They pit early, and when they pit, everybody was very upset about them pitting. He comes out of the pit lane, and he is going to go right on the same curve that we've got where Lewis Hamilton crashed, and Kimi is coming right next to him, and Kimi takes a very wrong line towards that curve, while Charles takes the correct line, right, that correct racing line, and Kimi takes out Charles and ruins his race. So it was a tough loss for Ferrari. They're still currently in second of the Constructors' Championship, but it's going to be a little bit tough. Okay, so now let's talk about our last thing that we've got to talk about. So we've wrapped up the Dutch Grand Prix. Actually, you know what? Before we wrap up the Dutch Grand Prix, rating A+ to F.
Oh, I'm actually going to give it a B+.
Okay.
Because I'm giving it a plus because Isack got his first podium.
Yep.
All of that. I'm also giving it a B.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would have gotten like a C, but Oscar did get first place, so I think that moved it up a lot.
Okay. And
yeah, I think that kind of wraps up why I gave it such a high rating.
Okay, I give it an A-. A- because there was action, there was crashes, it was unexpected things happen.
You always talk about crashes.
Yeah, unexpected results going on with Lando not finishing the race, with Isack getting on the podium. There was a lot of interesting stories. If you have not gotten a chance to watch a recap of the race, very, very much recommend it. Okay, so the next thing we need to talk about now is our upcoming race that is in Monza.
Ooh.
Yes,
Monza,
so it's a fast track.
Last year, but Monza was one of those races where like half of the people crashed.
I don't know if half of the people crashed.
Was it Monza? I don't know what I'm thinking, but I remember like one where like 12 people crashed. Maybe it was Australia. I might be thinking of Australia right now.
I think that was Australia, yes, at the beginning of the year. So last year in Monza, if my memory serves me right, Charles won the race.
Was it?
Yes.
No, he won Monaco.
He did win Monaco.
Oh, wait, no.
And then he also won Monza.
Why did I call it Monaco?
Yeah, he won Monza. And because it's in Italy, and it was very, very iconic photos of him winning. It's a fast track, very, very fast track. So it's all about speed in this, in this race. It's the temple of speed. So my question to you is, let us do our predictions.
So first place, since I'm a huge Oscar fan, Oscar.
Okay.
Second place, I'm going to have to give this to Lewis.
Lewis, okay.
Just because he always wins in these fast races where he's always somewhere in those podiums.
Okay.
wait in those fast races, and I would say Charles,
Okay.
but I think that's a little bit too much Ferrari in this
Okay.
podium. So I'm gonna have to say Lando.
Okay, so you're going to say Oscar Lewis Lando. Very, very interesting. Okay, I am going to go with predictions are going to be, I'm going to say Max.
Max, okay. Really?
Yes, I'm going to say Oscar second.
So second, okay.
And I'm going to say Lando third.
Hey.
In an ideal world, I would say Lando first, Oscar second, Max third. But I think Max is showing the signs of brilliance again, especially with what he did in
See, I have in these last few videos, I just realized like Max has not been on the podium for a long time.
He hadn't been on the podium for 4 straight races until this race.
That's why I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I don't think.
So I
was
think
thinking about it, but I was like, no.
yeah. So I think something is going on. I think Max is starting to creep back up, and I think he's got something a little hidden there for the end of the season. You know, not making a run for drivers champion or anything like that, but I think he wants to end well, and I think he will. Not better than Oscar and Lando,
but
he'll still do.
There.
I think he'll still be okay.
He'll end the top 3 at least.
I think he'll be in the top 3. Absolutely. Okay. All right, everyone. Well, that wraps up our video for this evening. We talked a lot about a lot of stuff this evening.
Oh yes, this
Yeah.
was
It was a good birthday special.
Long video.
Yes, we're getting closer every day to Austin,
which I'm absolutely excited about. It's also every time we make a video, I'm going to say how many days left till Halloween.
Ooh, okay, there are
59 days.
59 days left into Halloween.
For me and my dad's favorite holiday.
It is my favorite holiday.
It is my favorite holiday. I don't know if it is. I didn't even know that. Okay.
It is. Well, it's mine. Is it yours?
Of course it is. I love Halloween.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks for watching. Anything that you want to say before we end for tonight?
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and switch to those notifications, everyone.
Bye.